Hey, welcome everyone back. We are starting live streams again. I want to thank everybody who stayed with me during those dark few months, and I wasn't really contributing to anything. So, as it shows, I still don't know how to use StreamYard that well, so you must apologize for me. We got three people up in here viewing right now. Thank you very much for joining. Go ahead and eliminate our banners right here. And before I do, uh, please navigate over to the main channel page, click on the community tab, and we're going to be talking about what's wrong with my '03 Outback. Why does the steering wheel shake? I asked the community, you, the viewers, for input and suggestions on repairs. And then we're going to discuss everything that was mentioned. I got the top four suggestions out there for people to vote on. And I'm going to go over why those are good suggestions and why those are bad suggestions and what we should do first because you are the technician. Okay. You are the technician. You are the person taking my money. So we want to make sure that we do these repairs correctly. With that said, I'll go ahead and drop that right there. And I'm going to go ahead and change that to so and put my email back up there. Scrolling made it smaller. I liked it that way. Nice. Yes. You can always email me your questions if you have any automotive concerns. I am pretty dang good at about all manufacturers uh, for about the last 20 years. If you want to start asking me stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, I'm not your guy. I'll send you over to Vice Grip Garage. That is his forte. Okay. 20-year-old cars, that's my sweet spot. Okay. I'm good with that. OBD1, OBD2, I'm all about it. We go older than that, not your guy. Just because that's that information that I would source for your automotive repair. It's not I don't want to say it's public, but it's not always electronically available. That stuff is still hard copy. So I'll just refer you to a specialist so you get the answers that you need. Moving along there, let's go ahead and let's look and see what we're doing here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get our share screen up here. Yes, allow. And let's go ahead and just show a window. Yeah, that's good. And there we go. Okay, I hope everybody can see okay. I will go ahead and just bump up the res so it's there. Here we are. Let's do a refresh, see if anybody did some last minute voting. We got 13 votes in, and here is the cause and concern for the vehicle. So, as I said in the short, as you get up to about 30 miles an hour, the steering wheel does a little side to side shake. Not aggressive, okay? But it's there, just a little side to side wobble. You can hold it steady with your hand. Does it get worse at higher speeds? No, not really. Stays pretty steady. It's just there. Okay. And the fastest I've ever taken the car with the steering wheel wobble was 70 miles an hour. So, you as the technician, I am the customer. I'm coming to your garage and I describe this. You drive the vehicle, you validate that the shake is there because that would be the first thing that you would have to do as a technician, as a mechanic. You need to verify that customer's concern, even if that means driving the car. Okay. I say that that is the number one mistake that a mechanic can make. is not duplicating the customer's concern and just making an automatic suggested repair. Okay, that'll get you burned in a heartbeat. So you go out, you drive the car, you see the suggestion, or I'm sorry, you get out there, you drive the car, you verify it's there, you're back in the shop. We got it on the lift. I know you don't have hands on my car, but still, I'm gonna report to you, uh, so that way you can start filling it in. The first thing you want to do is you want to shake those tires. Okay, we're gonna grab it at the 3 and the 9 o'clock position, and we want to feel for anything loose. Now, this Outback has what's called a rack and pinion setup. Okay, it's not the parallel setup that you're used to with your Wranglers and your trucks. Rack and pinion. So when you go to grab it, you might say, "Oh, I feel a loose hub. I feel a loose tie rod in. I feel a ball joint." Keep in mind on those rack and pinions, when you're doing the side to side shake at the 3 and 9, you want to poke your noodle around the tire. Okay, poke your noodle around the tire, or have somebody else watch the tie rod for you. Okay, and you want to validate that you see that outer tie rod and ball joint moving. Okay, not the steering shaft moving, because you can make the whole gearbox move by shaking the tire, and you are going to feel a little bit of that backlash from that pinion going to the gearbox. Okay, so the gearbox goes horizontally, the pinion comes in perpendicularly. There's about a millimeter or two of backlash, and you're going to feel it when you shake that tire. That is completely normal. Okay, if you've never felt it before, jack up your vehicle. If you got a rack and pinion, and you'll feel it just a little dun 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 dun. Very normal. Okay. And that's what we have at the 3 and 9. It feels normal. It feels good. And it's even on the other side. That's another thing that you can do if you're curious. Does it feel right? Go to the other side on the front of the tire. Okay. You're on the driver's side, go to the passenger side. It's got the same kind of shake. I'm probably feeling the backlash. Normal. Move on. Now we're going to go at the 6 and the 12. Okay. 6 and 12. Up and down, up and down. We're feeling that ball joint. Okay. No movement there. Now, when we're also checking ball joints, keep in mind that this is a McPherson strut setup. It is not a SLA setup, short long arm, for those of you who want to know what that means. So in some situations, you would have to put something underneath the control arm where the ball joint is at. Okay. And you would want to put some support underneath there to test and see if that ball joint was actually did have some slop in it. All right. But don't go just slamming a pry bar in there right away between the knuckle and the lower control arm. Start doing the herky jerky. You could make something actually go wrong. Okay. Because that lower control arm is tensioned to go down with gravity. Okay. It wants to pull opposite, or the strut's pushing down, the control arm's pushing down because it's trying to put the tire on the road, but you got the car lifted up in the air with your jack stand or your car lift. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we test our ball joints under tension. Lower ball joints, good. So I gave you that information in the video to go with. So where are we at in the voting? One more update, we'll move through. We had 14. All right, we got 14 inputs right there. Out of the 14 people who voted, 29% of you are saying control arms and bushings. Another 20 vote. We got a dead even fight here. Wheel weight and balance, CV axles. So it must be about one or two of you there. And then dead even CV axles, brakes, and rotors. Very interesting. So let's work our way from fruit fly. Got it. Man, that's some Yoda shit right there. I just got it. Karate Kid all the way. No, that's Mr. Miyagi. That's who does it. Mr. Miyagi catches it. I didn't have chopsticks. Ah, one more vote just came in. Control arm bushings. Let's work our way up from the bottom, and we'll keep refreshing as people vote. Here we are, brakes and rotors. Why are we going after brakes and rotors, guys? We're driving. We're not braking. Okay. If the concern was steering wheel shakes while braking, then yes, we would go after that. But is that automatically wrong to say? No. You would definitely pick up on this on your test drive. Like, again, that's the first thing you should do. Verify customer concern. It's a drivability concern. Go drive the car. And if you were the person who was interviewing the customer, if you're the advisor, or maybe you are the mechanic who does check in your own customers, you would do it. You would catch this on your customer interview. Oh, you have a drivability concern. Your steering wheel shakes. Does it shake even worse while you brake? Yes or no? Maybe they don't know, and you'll have to put that down in your little notes when you write up the work order. Check to see if it shakes while braking too. All right. So if you're an advisor, help out your mechanic that way. A lot of times your customers, they're just not that observant. They don't break things down like that. All they know is the car doesn't drive correctly. So I'm going to tell you, it doesn't shake while braking. Okay. So that's going to eliminate my brakes and rotors. If somebody out there was thinking, well, maybe you had a sticky caliper. Okay. Maybe the brake pad was staying adhered to the rotor. You could possibly be right. But then I would counter that and say there would probably be another concern. There would probably be a customer concern with the brake pedal feeling weird. There would be a braking concern added to the work order. Okay. So going with brakes and rotors with just a simple steering wheel shake, and they're not complaining about brakes, and you didn't feel any kind of excessive shaking while you were braking on the highway and on the access road, I would say we wouldn't want to chase this yet. You could keep it in reserve. You really could, because we can look at this when we do our visual multi-point inspection. Okay. That's fine. Let's refresh and see if anybody else updated here. 15, 16. Control arms. Man, I'm going to have to buy some control arms. Damn it. Those are expensive. CV axles. Okay. CV axles. Hmm. How would that cause a steering wheel shake? Now, okay. All right. I see where you're going with this. Now, when we have problems with CV axle joints, especially like on a front wheel drive car, under heavy acceleration, let's say you're coming off of a stop sign or a stoplight, you're accelerating because you want to pass that jerk next to you in his Tesla. If you're a Tesla driver, I'm sorry for calling you a jerk, but we're using you as an analogy. So in this moment, you get to be a jerk. So my car's not front wheel drive. Car's all wheel drive. It does have half shafts on it. All right. But it is really common in front wheel drive vehicles to exhibit a vehicle shaking concern, but not a steering wheel shaking concern if the CV axles were faulty. You could also have a clicking noise while turning sharply. So if you're at full clock, left or right, and you're turning the vehicle around, you might start getting a click, 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 click sound. If that was a customer concern, clicking while turning, then one of the things you might want to ask them is, hey, when you're turning and then you go a little bit faster, does the clicking increase with the speed? It's a good question to ask, because that would definitely point you towards a CV axle that has a failing joint internally. But I've never ever in my life ever had a CV axle cause a steering wheel to shake. Now, maybe on some front end setups for the suspension, if the CV axle was just that bad, the the shake could go through the knuckle and into the tie rod and into the steering column and cause a shake. But at that point, I think the customer and myself as the customer, I think I might also be telling you, well, whole damn car shakes. Okay. If the CV axle started making the steering wheel shake, I think we're going to have some excessive vehicle vibrations. So let's not go after that one. Of course, we're on our test drive. We could do a test of the CV axles while we're there. One of my favorite tests to do is find a parking lot and do a really wide figure eight. Get that steering wheel locked up all the way clockwise and all the way counterclockwise, doing a figure eight maneuver, and feel how the car grips and turns and see if you can hear those tires dragging and squeaking. And most importantly, are those CV axles clicking? You're going to have to take your earbuds out. You might have to roll down the windows. But I think we're going to move along with looking at that. Of course, on our multi-point inspection, we will look at them and make sure we don't have any torn boots where we're getting some water in there and contaminating the joint. But let's move on. Wheel weight and balance. I like this one. Wheel weight and balance is an excellent thing to suggest to your customer. Obviously, you can't really visualize if a tire's out of balance while it's on the vehicle. Some things that I would look for when turning the tires around is I would try and turn them as fast as I could by my hand, maybe get an assistant, and just look at that inside rim. Okay, look at the inside rim as you're turning it around and see if you can see where maybe the rim might be dented. Okay, a dented rim can definitely cause an offset and balance, if not a permanent vibration, even if it did balance correctly. Look for clean spots. Okay, so some of these wheels, like the picture I have mine here, I have an alloy wheel and it takes stick-on weights on the inside. So if that rim took stick-on weights, look for a clean spot where somebody had cleaned it off to stick on a weight and see if that weight fell off. It happens. Okay, they're stickers. They stuck on, but maybe it was really cold that day when that person was balancing the tires and the rim was cold, and those stick-on weights don't like to stick to cold rims too well. They like to fall off. That's why when I'm doing stick-on weights in the cold, I take my little mini torch with me, and I'll warm that spot up after I clean it so that the stick-on wicks stay there better. Same thing for the hammer-on weight. So the inside, I'm sorry, on the inside, the inboard side, let's use that. The inboard side of the outside of the rim, that does take hammer-on weights. Again, look for a clean spot or look for some fresh marks where maybe hammer-on weight might have just skipped off. You know, you hit a pothole, they can rip those tack-on weights off real easy. And if everything on the car visually looks good, wheel weight and balance is not a bad thing to recommend. But we'll come back to that. Control arms and bushings. Definitely, this is something that you would have to get underneath the vehicle. Could you get a good look at it on some car ramps or some jack stands? You might think you could, but you're really going to want to have like a good, like, foot and a half look away from that thing, because when your noodle, when your face is crammed up, okay, when you're crammed up like that far away, because those jack stands, they only go a few inches high, like they only go about maybe like 8 to 12 inches high, maybe, like just the one I'm talking about, the ones from the Harbor Freight, okay, and then you get your face under there from my forehead to the back of my head, that's about another 8 inches. So I'm looking at that thing that far away, and I can't really get a good perspective from it. So I'm going to be tilting my head a lot, trying to look around it. I'm not going to be able to see both sides of it at the same time, maybe. And if you're like me, you got glasses, this is going to suck. Okay. And then with some of these bushings, to see if they are failing, you're going to have to get a pry bar in there. You got to get some leverage in there, try and move it around, see how sloppy it is. You may not be able to manipulate it well enough. And let me warn you this, okay? You got that car up on jack stands. I want you, and you're going to pry bar those control arms. I, for one, want you to have all four corners of that car lifted up, okay? I would not just jack up the front end and crawl under it and start prying some junk around. There are too many videos out there of these jack stands falling out of position when you start jerking the car around. Okay. Let me see if we can just cue something up really quick here on the old boob tube. Jack stand fail. They're all over the place. Yeah, that'll happen. These jack stands that have this lever action right here, I don't use them for that very good reason. I don't care how good the brand is. I will never use that because of that. I have witnessed it happening, and I have heard of too many people getting stuck under a car. Okay. And I know Harbor Freight has had some uh horrific recalls on their jack stands for doing that. Okay. This here would be a style of jack stand that I trust. And this is what I have right here. Give me a bigger picture. There we go. Okay. It doesn't have to be this structure design, but I want that pin going through. Okay. That will never fall. These are a little bit more expensive. Okay. They cost about 50 doll hairs a piece. And I know that, yes, you could go to the Harbor Freight with your 20% coupon and you could go get the other style for about 40 bucks a pair. But I guarantee you that situation will happen. It'll happen with weight on them. Okay. It'll happen with weight on them. So shop for that style instead. And it seems like, yeah, the prices on them are going up just a little bit. Oh, look, okay, we got some 3 tons here at the homeless despot. That's a latching pen design. No, no. You see how it ratchets? Hell no. No. That's still using the same style technique. I wouldn't trust it. I want that pen to go through this top part right here. Hell no. I'm not going to recommend that style. This is the style that was in the video that failed. Folks, all these jack stands that are sold at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa, Northern Tools, Harbor Freight, it's all the same Taiwanese crap, okay? No one brand is better than the other. Please don't use that style. Granger's got a set. Yeah, I'm just trying to jack stand pin adjustment. I think that's just going to be the term that they want to use. So you want to go for this through pin design. Stick with that. Okay, so back to my point. So yeah, make sure you got the correct style of jack stands underneath your vehicle. You'll start getting your pry bar. You'll get it into those sweet spots where the bushings are at. And you'll try and manipulate them just a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy. I mean, if they're failing, and you'll be able to see it with just a regular 12-inch pry bar. Okay. Uh, so your these typical control arms, they have bushings in the rear and they got front ones in the front. And if anybody was Googling for an answer, if you were Googling Subaru steering wheel shake, I'm pretty sure control arms are going to be the first thing that come up. 18 votes. Yeah. Let's see what happens when I Google this. Okay. Let's see who's talking about stuff out there. Yeah, I think he's just asking for help. This is just some AI response. This Subaru website. Sometimes these people are helpful, sometimes they're not. Yeah, they're calling out control arms right away, tie rod ends right away. Drive shaft. Hey, you're going to have a chassis vibration if you got a drive shaft having a problem. This is localized vibration. Localized vibration. Yep. Somebody's saying check hubs. That's not bad. And we can verify that on a steering wheel shape by getting it by the 3 and 9, the 6 and 2. Let's get back to our votes right here. So, yes, control arms and bushings, that's not bad to throw out there. And you can rule that out pretty quick by just getting underneath the vehicle, getting a visual inspection, and prying on those locations to see what's going on. Okay. In this case, that wasn't it. And if you were talking to the customer at the counter, you don't want to start throwing this out there. You might say, hey, like, this will be one of the things that we check. We'll get back to you. But if these are good, okay, if these are visually good and they're not moving with the pry bar, I'm going to sell you a wheel balance because it's cheap. Okay. And wheel balance, 9 times out of 10, is going to be the problem. Now, one way that we can prove it without taking the car or without taking the wheels off the car and put them on a balancer is we could go out on a test drive with our NVH software, noise, vibration, harshness. Okay. And I do got a video out there that I can reference to you right here. I made it over a year ago. So we got a car with a vibration. I'm going to go through it. Let me just scrub forward because you can watch it in slow mo by yourself. Okay, I got to plug in a Bluetooth OBD2 communicator to work with my cell phone software. Cell phone software is called Vibration Diagnostics. It's $100. It goes on your iPhone or your Android. Okay, it's going to use the accelerometer in your vehicle. I'm sorry, it's going to use the accelerometer in your phone. So you're going to want to watch how I tell you to hold it stationary in your vehicle. Okay. You're going to want to record all the information off the tires. We want to make sure that all 4 tires on this vehicle are the same style of tire. Okay. We want to make sure that they got the right numbers on them. They match around. It's really common for somebody to go get a used tire and put it on a vehicle, and maybe the width of the tire is a little bit different. Maybe the sidewall is a little bit different. And then maybe we want to check all those tires' tread depth too. Make sure one of them isn't horrifically off. Okay. So watch the video. I show you how to set it all up. It literally takes 5 minutes to set this thing up, and maybe 3 once you get good at it. We're going to go for a test drive. This is what you're looking at on your test drive. And now we're going to come back. We're going to save it. And then we're going to spit out a report. And this is the report that we get. Okay. We got our speed, we got our elevation, and we can select and deselect those all we want. Then you're going to start getting these D1, D2, D3, E1, E2, T1, T2, T3. Those are called tiers, vibration tiers. Okay. So without making this into an NVH class, quickest way to describe that is if it's a 1, that means something on the drivetrain bumped one time every 360 degrees it spun around. If it's a D2, it bumped twice on a 360 degrees, so on and so forth. E is for engine, T is for tires. Now, how does it calculate this? How does this software know this? Well, that's why you need that Bluetooth dongle, okay? That Bluetooth dongle, when you plug in the year, make, and model, that software knows all the speeds of everything just off of the engine RPM, okay? So it knows the transmission that's in your car because you plugged in the vehicle. So it says, well, if you're going this fast at 3,000 RPM, I know what speeds the transmission are spinning, so I know the frequency I'm looking for. It knows how fast the drive shaft is spinning, so it knows the frequency of the vibration. Same thing when it hits a differential and it hits an axle and it hits a tire. Math is fucking amazing on this software. And for $100, this is the best test drive software you can get to find a problem. Now I'm going to start deselecting things just by clicking on the bottom. I want to focus on my tire orders. Okay. And here I can see I have excessive tire vibrations. Okay. Excessive tire vibrations. Blah, blah, blah. I'm making a funny joke. I'm pointing out right here. This is a really common thing that we get for vibrations. Okay. Fix a flat. People think that once they put it in there, it's just going to seal up the hole and whatever else juice that they squeezed in there goes away. No, that's a liquid that stays in the tire. And if you read that can, it says after you inject this goop, you need to go to a tire store. You need to get your tire properly patched and they need to wash all this crap out. And I tell you what, if I find fix a flat in your tire, I'm charging you to clean that crap out because that stuff sucks. If you don't know what it's like to try and shake uh, this jello crap out of a tire, I want you to just go grab any tire you can, about car size tire. Okay, don't cheat me and get a wheelbarrow tire, but go find just a regular tire and throw water in there. And you tell me how long it takes to get freaking water out of there. Okay, it takes a little while. And if you're gonna try and use shop air, well, you're gonna get that stuff all over you, all over the tire machine, and everyone in the shop's gonna hate you. Okay, I talk about physics there, and there it is. Okay, in this case, he did have a dented rim. Was that my problem? No. Did I use the software on my vehicle? Yes, I did. I used the software on my vehicle, and it said the first thing I should do is I should look at my vehicle tires. Now, would you charge diagnostics for this? Eh, probably not, because this is really, really simple, easy to use software. It loads up fast. I can go on a test drive around the block in about 10 minutes. It's a little time out of the shop. I feel good. Okay, maybe make a phone call. And then I come back in, I'm all fresh and I'm ready to look at this vehicle. I got my report. And with that report, I have justification. Okay, I got justification to now tell the customer, I need you to spend some money to let me balance your tires. Okay. And that's why I really like this software. 19 votes are in. That's why I really like that software, because people feel more confident in what they're going to pay for. It's a visual thing. Yes, you have to invest in it, and you probably won't be charging the customer diagnostics for that. I mean, I wouldn't. If the customer came in with the concern and they didn't want to buy a wheel balance and they were like, "Yeah, hey, thanks for it. See ya." We have a condition on that then. Like, we'll roll your diagnostic fee into the wheel balance for free. Like, we'll just drop it if you buy the wheel balance, just so the tech can get paid for something. But if you're just gonna high five out of here, we're gonna ask for about $150 for wasting our time. That's about the only time we'll charge for diag on something like this. Again, it changes in every shop. Obviously, if this vibration was contributing to something bigger, like a gearbox or a drive shaft or a differential or a transmission was causing these vibrations and steering wheel shake, and it wasn't obvious within like the first 20 minutes, I would dig in my heels with the 1 hour diag no matter what. And I would tell the customer, or I would tell the advisor first, like, this isn't simple. Gonna need a little bit more time. There's gonna be a diag on top of a repair. But in most times, if I figure it out in 20 minutes or less, we'll just waive the diag fee if the repair is purchased. It's kind of just a consequence of trying to just help out the community with repairing their vehicles. So this was the resolution. It was a wheel weight problem. The weights on the tires had flown off. In my short video, I had told you that I did balance the tires. I balanced them, but then the weights fell off. Okay. And you, as the advisor, and you, as the mechanic interviewing me, if I had said, hey, my tires are already balanced, and I already shook the tires and everything's fine, never take that as a solid. Okay. Never take that information for granted. You want to take that information with a grain of salt. Okay. I get plenty of customers who come in to the shop like, I've already researched it and I've already looked it up and I've already figured it out. I just want somebody to do the work. I will still always tell them, be like, I would like to verify whatever you think it is. Because I have people, they show up with car parts and they're like, just put it on. You just described this situation. Your car's shaking and you think it's this. You're holding $800 worth of parts in your hands. What if this customer shows up? He's like, hey, I got on Rock Auto and I bought me some control arms and some bushings, ball joints. Just put them all on, man. Well, you're holding like $600 for the Taiwanese parts. You want me to put that on your car? Are you sure? Because that's a couple hours labor, man. A couple hours at $180 an hour. And it's gonna add up. Could be something simple. You sure you just want me to look at it? Nah, screw you. You don't know what you're doing. I'm the big boy here. I watched YouTube and I read forums. That makes me a professional. I'm gonna put that stuff on there. It's still gonna be there. And now he's gonna be angry. So with all vibrations, check your tires. So as I posted this out, I kind of was thinking in my head, did I really set these guys up or am I going to teach them a lesson? And I really feel like this is kind of like both. You know, like when you're doing this professionally, you can get burned really quickly just taking your customers' suggested repair for granted. Okay. Because you want to make a quick buck, you want to get to the next car, you want to flag some hours. So don't don't hesitate to just re-verify what they said is good. And especially if they said, I already went to a tire shop and they balanced them for free. There's a term called lowest bidder. If you've ever worked in government, we throw that term around a lot. Whenever the commander starts saying, I don't understand why all this is a piece of junk or why we just paid for this and it's falling apart. The first thing you'll hear out of anyone's mouth, lowest bidder. You cheap scumbag. Okay. There was a guy who was going to make it done good. It's going to cost you a few extra $1,000, but hey, you wanted to do it quick and dirty. And that's what quick and dirty got you. Let's go through here and see what else we got. Just calling out my old boys at Tecton Tools. Okay. They now have a special section where you can look at all their USA tools. And just to inform you, Tecton is not specifically making these picks. They are making the handles and they're buying the shafts for these picks and pocket pry bars from Mayhew. So this is all Mayhew stuff. Mayhew's working with their screwdrivers. I haven't figured out who's making their slip joint pliers, but I got a set. They're not too bad. Not too bad. American made in Michigan. Ernest makes these organizers here for the wrenches, and they are some slick organizers. And I think Tecton has the best deal available on these because you can buy them in small sections to add on, or you can just get the whole Grandmaster kit, and they sell the stickers separately. So if you have a bunch of wrenches in different configurations, you can still organize them and everything will look pretty. Hammers are coming from Trusty Cook, and those are some sweet hammers. You'll love them. These angle head wrenches, these are theirs. These are truly original. And those are some slick wrenches. I am very, very big into their new crow feet right here. And what's best is you can get them in one-offs. Okay. You can buy an individual. So they have these in your traditional open end, and then they have the 3-point contact, which would be called a line wrench style. Is that going to be on the next page? Probably on the next page. Oh, well, I'm not seeing them, but they're there. I got them. I love them. What's next? These boogers came out. Harbor Freight, the Icon bandwagon. Guys love them. I don't got a set of these yet. I do have a couple of the Snap-on ones. I love them, the pieces. I use them every single day. Nobody in my shop has bought any of the Icon pliers yet, so I can't validate how good they are compared to my Snap-on stuff. But the internet seems to be happy with Snap-on pliers. And the internet seems to be happy with Icon hammers. I'm not a big Icon shopper just because of the fact that the Harbor Freight, my area, is just kind of out of my way. You know, it's a commitment to go to the store and stand in line. And if you did have to warranty anything out, it's only warrantable on availability. So if it's not on the shelf, you can't warranty it out. And I don't like that. So that's why I stick with my boys over at Tecton, because I just get on my phone, I fill out a form, and as soon as I click submit, I immediately get a confirmation message that says your warranty claim was submitted. And usually by the end of the day, like if I submit my claim before lunch, before close of business, Michigan time, which is East Coast, I'll get notification that the box is in the mail, and I've gotten them as fast as 3 days because they send them priority. Tecton warranty is second to none. Every time I've submitted a warranty claim, they've responded that my replacement is on the way within 5 minutes. Yeah, they are good, man. They are good. I really do like them. The only time that Tecton asked for their tool back was I had one of their clicker style torque wrenches. I just broke the anvil head off of it, and they took it. They took it back because they said they just wanted to throw a new head on it. Which, okay, but I don't use clicker style torque wrenches anymore. I'm all digital, and I got separate videos based on that. Motor Age. I got Motor Age coupons, codes, 20% off. If you're trying to get any kind of training, you want books, you want e-training. Their new e-training is pretty slick. Let's go to my training. The website's a little bit slow to get going. I don't know why. I keep complaining about it. But I will be testing tomorrow. I'll be taking my confirmation test, which is my first test. I'm going to do X1 for exhaust systems. The shop has asked me to do a G1 auto maintenance light repair. And folks, G1 is, I read that book. That is all basic lube tech knowledge. Okay. Fantastic book, by the way. And I went back after I read it. I went back to the manager and I said, I think our advisors should all be G1 certified because it's just full of all the lingo information you need to know. Bearings, bearings and hubs and knuckles. It's just calling out your basic parts. So if you're struggling with any of the A1 test or any of the A tests out there, your A1 through A8, because you're struggling with the terms and just keep in mind, I think they built the A series off of G1. So invest in a G1 book, flip through it really quick. It's going to help you with those identifiers when you get into the other A tests. And the last test I'm taking 3 tests tomorrow. L4, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. Assistant Systems. C cells, G cells by the C short. Nope, I can't do that. ADOS. I call it ADOS. Okay. ADAS. ADOS. So I'm going to take that one. Now I'll show you what their ebooks look like really quick. Try not to, they don't watch my channel, so there shouldn't be any copyright on here, and you're not going to see the whole damn thing anyways. But here she all is. Okay. It's in a nice little pretty format. You can scroll through, pictures pop in, nice high def pictures. And what's really nice too is as you zoom out and zoom in, it's going to auto fill up the screen pretty nice. So I'm pretty happy with this. If you're not so much of a good reader, let me help you out here with a new plugin that I invested in. Okay. Natural Reader. Okay. It's a Google Chrome Explorer. It's a plugin for all your browsers. Let me log in and show you what we got. Go to naturalreader.com, download the phone app, download the Android app. Okay. Check them out. Get your 1 month trial. They're not paying for this promotion. I just love this software. But you can drag and drop any PDF document you want into this software, whether it's on your phone or on your web browser, and it's going to read it right away. And they have a plethora of different voices. For you to go through. Click up here. Yeah, these are all the different character voices you can get. They're freaking fantastic. Be aware that the free ones, if you don't buy the service, which is $19.99 a month, the free service, you get like Speak and Spell AI voice back. So paying for the premium one gives you the much, much better ones. And they have about a good 100 of these good AI voices, and they're all in different dialects. So if you want something with a European Spanish or you want a Mexican Spanish, you can pick both of them. And then you got the community, because there is a program in here where you can train up your own AI voice. Some people have made some redneck ones, they've made some Homer Simpson ones. It's pretty slick. But when you download it, then you get a little plugin, and all you got to do is click on it, and it's going to scan your page. It's going to start reading it off. So I don't know if you can hear it. I don't think I have the audio set up to play my monitor audio into the microphone. If I click on the immersion, oh, there we go. See, here it is. It scanned everything on the page, and it's going to read this. And better yet, see? So you could actually follow along with your eyes as it's reading to help you stay engaged. So if you're like me, who is a person who struggled with reading the first 30 years of their life, and now you work in automotive and everything is reading, this is a great tool aid. So I encourage you to move forward with it. It's going to help you with hearing the pronunciation of words. It's going to help you with sentence structure because I hear it too many times from mechanics. Like, I can't read these books. They don't make sense. And I really think it's just you didn't read enough as a child and as a teenager, and then you just kind of displaced reading altogether. Like, I get it. I was that person. I was a comic book kid. I only read comic books because I needed pictures to put words with so I understood the action. I couldn't do this format of reading. So I'm a much, much better reader now. I actually did get somebody who helped me out with my reading disability. They put me on a program called Hooked on Phonics. It's like an old 70s tape cassette program with like kindergarten books and elementary style books. But yeah, I had to reread like a first grader, second grader would. It felt embarrassing, but I tell you what, after about 2 months on that program, she uh she told me like, yeah, your reading level just went from like 8th grade to 10th grade. And now I have like a very mild 12th grade reading level. I haven't been exercising as well as I should. If I would have stuck with the program, I probably would have had a much better vocabulary and understanding of sentence structure. But realistically, I just wasn't good. I just got a pass in all my English classes growing up. And I really didn't understand my sentence structure. I didn't understand my nouns and verbs and consonants. I didn't know what any of that stuff was off the top of my head without looking it up. So if you're just somebody who struggles with trying to study for these certification tests, I would challenge you, go get a reading test done. Like, go if you got insurance for it, just call your healthcare provider and say that you just want to talk to um, a therapist. They're called reading therapists, and they'll give you a reading exam, and it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna feel bad about yourself, but it's gonna let you know where you stand. Because you might have been a good reader 20 years ago, but you got to kind of ask yourself, when was the last time you picked up and actually read a book cover to cover that didn't have pictures in it? Uh, for me, it was a big deal because I know as soon as I was out of high school, I didn't read jack shit. It was all movies and comic books from there, and wasn't until about like 8 years later where my ability to read just got worse and worse and worse. And I was so grateful I discovered this person, and she was like, "Yeah, you're a horrible reader." And after I got through her reading program, I actually was able to pass college classes. I was doing much better. So, fantastic program. If you are in college, if you are in high school, you might want to invest in this and get it. They do have an education discount. So, if you do have a college email address, that's how you'll register it and set it up with them. You can get about $10 off. But yep, that was it. Long and short, balanced the tires. Everything was fantastic. 20 votes. You guys really want that. Nothing new in the chat. We've been going pretty good for about how long we got? Long enough. Not going to tell me how long we've been going. But that's it, folks. Thank you for joining the show. We're going to try and start getting going, rolling every Sunday again until I can find a more popular day that you want. So go ahead and email me if there's a better suited day that kind of works out for your general region. I know most people on Sundays are still trying to get their last family day in before they go back to work on a Monday. So if I can fit it in my schedule, I'll try and do a weekday, see if weekdays pull some more viewers in. But I want to thank for the viewers who did show up today. You guys are great. We're going to get the format under control with the show too. So we're going to start doing we're going to do a live show that's open to the community, and that community show is going to be about 20-30 minutes tops. I'm going to do a hard walkout, and then we're going to go right into a post show. That's going to be a members only show, and then we'll hang out for about 15 minutes, and then we'll troll each other a little bit, and we'll say goodbye. So with that said, goodbye everybody. Thanks for showing up today. I'll see you all next week.